If only 15% of Americans ever reach their first $100,000, and it's not because they aren't working hard enough, then what are the other 85% missing?
Most people follow what we were told. Save harder, spend less, and wait until you're debt-free before you start building wealth. But here's a plot twist. The crazy thing is, that's exactly what's keeping people stuck.
You can't save your way to 100K. Heck, you can't even save $10,000 following these rules. And once you understand why, everything about how you handle money will change forever.
So if saving doesn't get you there, and being debt-free isn't even required,
then how are people hitting 100K so fast, even while life keeps lifing them with bills, setbacks, and expenses? That's the part nobody's teaching, but it's what really made the difference for us.
We tried everything that the gurus told us to do. Cut back on spending, focus on earning more,
Right.
Attribute to your 401k, go grab that match, pay down debt, so that way you have more later to be able to put towards your future. Until we learn this, saving harder doesn't work because 100K is not built on just willpower. It's built on a system.
Waiting to be debt-free before you start, it's just backwards. And that's probably the biggest lie that we are sold, is that becoming debt-free before you start building wealth, you could be debt-free and broke at the same time.
The first 100K is the hardest when it's all you.
Yeah, it's
And
only you.
It's who you have to become to do it consistently. And most people think the real transformation happens at 100K. And I mean, how many times have you heard, once I achieve Y, then it will happen? The truth is, it's all nonsense. The real shift happens way earlier than 100K. The real shift happens at 10K.
So think of your 10K like your first upgrade from a paper map to a GPS. So why does $10,000 change everything so much? Why does it unlock momentum and make the next $90,000 come even faster than the first 10?
Well, it's because 10K is when everything starts to feel possible. You stop panicking over the surprise bills and you stop reacting to every financial situation or financial fire. You start asking better questions like, how do I grow this? And most importantly, you start trusting yourself and the process. It's a mindset shift. And once you hit that 10K, the 100K is no longer a wish. It becomes simply math.
Yeah.
It's all about a repeatable system.
Right.
And that next 90K, it doesn't require more restriction. It requires an upgrade to your mapping system.
Right, that's the cheat code that we're gonna give you now. This is the exact formula that we used to go from broke and stuck to our first 100K and later our first million. We now call it the Future First method. And once you understand it, the path becomes way clearer.
So F, fund your freedom first. And that's automating contributions into a freedom fund as a non-negotiable. And it's about paying yourself first, not tomorrow, right now, today. And it builds self-trust and momentum. This is the important part that allows your dollars to become employees that never sleep.
And then your money is making its own money. And in a moment, we'll show you exactly how this small action is making more lazy millionaires than anything we've seen before. So now that you've committed to funding your freedom, let's look at how systems multiply your results. U is for unite with systems. We've heard the saying, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And it's because willpower is limited, but systems, they last. This is why velocity banking was so effective for us. The money left over after bills are paid, and it was always working for us. This became kind of a cash flow versus leverage game for our family. And it's the most important piece of advice that we give. If something is not non-negotiable, it's negotiable.
T, track what matters. And this ultimately means you have to know your core numbers. What's your income? What are your needs? What are your wants? What's your cash flow? Focus on high impact changes, not nickel and diming. The biggest wins are usually hidden and right there in plain sight.
U is for use debt. Don't let debt use you. Did you know that 98% of millionaires use debt as leverage and still use debt as a strategy? This proves that not all debt is evil, regardless of what they've always told us. Prioritizing high interest debt and treating unnecessary purchases like they're stealing from your future is, I think, one of the best strategies. But for most people, debt is the enemy. To the rich, debt is their strongest weapon. So use debt, good debt, strategically. And it's really your favorite word.
Right. It's all about leverage. Good debt managed well can absolutely speed you up. And then there's R, recalibrate. Recalibrate what you can control. Calibration is the process of adjusting a system to ensure it performs at its peak. So think of your GPS. Would it be effective if it didn't allow you to avoid traffic jams or warn you when roadblocks were coming? So now let's take a look at what obstacles you can overcome quickly to reroute to get to your goal even faster. Do you control your income? Increasing income is the second most effective way people hit their first 100K. Start with your current job, assess your income potential, or maybe even ask for a raise.
Okay, here's where we're gonna pause because we've had many clients switch careers after realizing that their current job capped their income. This kind of urgency hits different when you see you're not just trading your time for money, you're trading decades and memories. If time is our most valuable asset, doesn't it make sense to make the most for it? It's the number one way most people soar to their first 100K is strategically using leverage. That includes time.
Well, time is the most valuable asset we have. Most people think more effort gets them out. But if you're lost and you hit a dead end, what you really need is a recalibrated GPS.
E is for end in mind.
You know, what's the goal? Where are you going? Where are you headed?
What version of you exists when you reach it? Every decision should point toward the life you want, not just surviving today. And that was a huge shift for us.
Right. And here's the thing. The direction you're headed today may be based off the fact that you're single, don't have kids, or you're in a new relationship.
That's
but
true.
as your lifestyle shifts, those goals shift as well, and they have to grow with you, which means that's where that recalibrated GPS comes into play.
Well, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. And that's just not a clever saying. It's really the truth. If you're not deciding where you're going to end up, then you're just playing a game of finding out what life has brought you and where you landed. So you get to choose. That's the truth. So invest, not just in yourself, not just in upgrading your lifestyle, not just in the stuff and the things, but in your future. Change doesn't happen until you put action behind clarity. So knowing where you want to end up is key. But more important than knowing where you're going is why.
The goal isn't a net worth amount. The goal is income. And it's the income you can take without trading your time for it. Most of our clients are on track to earn over 100K in tax-free annual income.
And that income is an outcome of the commitments that they made to their future selves. So what's the outcome that you desire? How much income do you need to quit your job? If you'd like to see this part of the strategy in action, we have hundreds of case studies, so check out the playlist of case studies below.
And when you're ready, jump on my calendar for a free consultation.
And once you've hit 100K, that's when everything really changes, unless you're part of the 55% that are still following old advice and are worried that they aren't growing fast enough. For some, their net worth explodes. But for others, it struggles to fight inflation. The difference between these two types of people is simple, actually. And if you're ready to learn what that is,
that's what we'll cover in this next video.